everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. For today's video, I thought it would be a good idea to film a little Q&A just so everyone could kind of get to know me. I feel like my living situation and stuff is a little different. If you don't know, I actually live in Italy with my husband who's in the army. He's obviously stationed over here. So a lot of the questions that I got were actually pertaining to that and being like a military wife and all that stuff. So I figured if I didn't throw that in there, people would maybe be a little confused. I actually got quite a few questions, so I'm just gonna jump right into the video so that this isn't a million years long. Okay, question number one is, what was the transition to Italy like? Honestly, it wasn't that crazy, and I think the reason being because I had visited 4 times before I actually moved here, so I kind of knew what the life was like. I knew the area and everything like that, so I wasn't super like culture shocked, I guess. It is very different over here. Like, restaurants are open at completely different times than back in the States, and just the food, everything is so different here. But I kind of feel like since Brandon was here, it already felt like home to me. So I don't know, it wasn't really that different. Did you plan to have Peyton, or was it a surprise? Peyton was actually planned. I feel like a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, we were trying when we conceived Peyton and we succeeded. How did Brandon / family / friends react to your pregnancy? I'm actually planning on filming a completely different video about like how I found out and my birth story and stuff like that. So I will go more into detail on how I told Brandon, even though it wasn't this like crazy story at all. But he was really happy. Like I said, we were planning to get pregnant, so he was super happy. Our friends and family were all very, very happy and very supportive. A few of my friends actually knew that I was trying, so when I told them, they were super excited. And this is Peyton's the first grandchild on in Brandon's immediate family, so his family was all very, very excited as well. How is it living in Italy so far and away from everyone? So I think this is asking like, how is it living 4,000 miles away from friends and family? It's definitely difficult at times, especially times like right now where Brandon is on a rotation and he's away for a couple weeks at a time. It's definitely difficult because at times when I'd be lonely or anything like that, I would just call up friends and go hang out with them. And I do have a couple friends here, but there's just nothing really like going and like hanging out with your sister or anything like that. So it's definitely difficult and it does get lonely at times. But like I said, Brandon's here and Peyton's here, and they're kind of wherever they are, I feel like I'm home. So I do get really homesick sometimes, but it's just kind of, I'm learning to cope with it and deal with it, and it just kind of gets easier as the time goes on. What is it like being an army wife? It's hard because Brandon's away at times, and the army is very demanding. So some days he'll get home at 3 p.m. and some days he'll get home at 9 p.m. It is difficult not having like a set schedule and stuff like that, but like I said, we're just kind of learning to deal with it. Yeah, it's definitely just, I don't expect things anymore. I just kind of roll with the flow. It's kind of all you can do when you're a military wife. But I mean, I'm not complaining. It's great, but it does get difficult at times. How did you come up with the name Peyton, and what's your favorite part about being a mom? So honestly, I don't really know how I found the name Peyton, but the way that we settled on her name was we had already had a boy name picked out for a while, but we never really settled on a girl name. And I had a list in my phone, and Brendan took my phone and went in the other room, or he's probably like going to the bathroom or something, and he looked on my notes and saw Peyton, I guess, and came back out and was like, I like Peyton. And that's just how we just kind of went with it ever since then. And what's your favorite part about being a mom? I think just knowing that I have this little human being who is literally my best friend. I know it sounds weird because she's 6 months old, but she's with me at every single second of the day, and we just have like an unbreakable bond. So I just think that, and just like her snuggles are my favorite. Literally just like being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom ever since I was little. I just knew that I was destined to be a mom. So literally all of it. How you and Brandon met. Brandon and I actually met on Tinder. That was how we like came to know each other, but the way that we actually met in person was actually by accident. Me and two of my friends were in Boston at Park Street. If you know Boston, you know Park Street is like a train stop. So we were in the Boston Commons, and Brandon had texted me and was like, hey, what are you doing? And I said that me and my friends were in Boston. He was like, oh, where are you? Because me and my friends were in Boston, and they ended up only being one train stop away. So we all met up, and oddly enough, his best friend and my best friend also met that night, and now they've also been dating for 3 years. How was your experience delivering a baby in a foreign country? I would do it 1,000 times again. I sincerely think that if I had my baby in the States, I would have had a totally different experience, and I wouldn't have liked it so much. My midwife here was amazing. The hospital staff was amazing. Like, I just had such a pleasant experience here, and the medicine that they give you is different. Like, the epidural medicine is different, and I just honestly had the best experience, and it almost makes me not want to leave here before I have another baby, because when I have another baby, I would want it to like be born here so that I could go through that experience again. What's the best and worst part about living in Italy? The best part is, I will say, just having literally the opportunity to travel. Not that Brandon and I ever travel, but just having like Greece be a $50 flight away is insane, and it gives us a lot of opportunities that we never would have had before just living in the States. And the worst part is not being able to get Chipotle. Everyone's gonna hate me for this, but like American pizza. I just want American pizza, like fluffy crust, lots of cheese, just like Puppuccino's pizza. American food. We miss American food. As much as you may think that we eat chicken parm and meatballs, those things aren't things here. Garlic bread, not a thing here. So I miss those things. I miss my American food, and Italian food gets really old really fast. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? I want to say like Hawaii or something like that, because I would just love to live by the beach all the time, but Hawaii is so freaking expensive, so I don't think I could really live there. But maybe just anywhere like tropical on the beach. I would live my best life on the beach. What is the first thing you notice about someone? Like their facial features. I don't know, eyes are like a big thing. I don't know, it kind of depends on like the person, I guess, but definitely like facial features and just the face. What is it like to what was it like to just kind of pack up and move to Italy? So I pretty much did this in February of 2018. I literally quit my job and bought a one-way ticket to Italy and stayed here for a month, and then I went home for a couple months and then came back in April, and then went home for a couple months or a month, and then came back in May to live. But I did kind of just like up and leave, and it was weird. It was pretty different just because especially not having like a house or anywhere to live here was hard because I literally had to pack all my stuff in 2 suitcases and get on a plane and leave. So it was weird. It was crazy. It was definitely one of the craziest things I ever did, especially the packing up and quitting my job and buying a one-way ticket to Italy. That was one of the most spontaneous things I've ever did. Like I said before, I don't know. Honestly, it wasn't super crazy because Brandon was here and I had visited so many times before. So I guess it wasn't that different, and it had been anticipated for so long that like I was just ready to go. I was ready to get out and just go. What was it like leaving family back home to go live with Brandon? It was definitely difficult. You know, my nephew, who I basically like helped raise for the first 4 years of his life, leaving him behind was definitely difficult. I miss him so much. I miss my sister. My mom lives in Florida, so she wasn't she wasn't there. I still really miss her. Leaving everyone, leaving my dad. I lived with my dad before I left, so leaving my family was definitely really hard. But I also knew that I was coming home 3 months later, so I was like, I'll see you in a couple months. It's not that long. What is it like being home alone with the baby for the majority of the day while hubby is working? I don't know. It's some days is like, oh my God, I just really wish I had help. But at the same time, I don't know. Like I said, it's like being with my best friend, my 6-month-old best friend, all day long. So, and I'm just kind of like in a routine now. I know that I'm taking care of her, so I'm kind of used to it. And a lot of the times we'll go and visit him while he's at work, so I guess I'm not so alone all day. But yeah, it gets hard some days. Definitely I'm like, okay, when are you coming home? And when he leaves on rotations, it gets tough. But it's just, like I said, something that I'm learning to deal with and getting used to every day. How you told family about being pregnant and how you knew. So like I said, I'm going to go into detail about like how we told everyone and stuff in a different video. But how I knew that I was pregnant, I'm also going to talk about this, but I'll just give you the short story. When I went to visit Brandon in February for a month, we were staying in his barracks room, and his roommate also had his wife there, so it was literally 4 of us living in a barracks room. It was close quarters, but she actually got pregnant a month or so before I found out that I was pregnant, and she had told me all of her signs and symptoms that she noticed and that what made her think that she might be pregnant. And then I started noticing that I was getting like the cramping that she was talking about, and I also missed my period, so that was like a huge telltale sign. But basically just like the cramping, I was so tired, but mainly the cramping kind of gave it away. And then obviously I missed my period, and I was like, well, I'm probably pregnant. When are you having another baby? I want you to have another baby. I don't know. We definitely want to have another baby. I want Peyton to have a sibling. Brandon wants a boy. Obviously, that's not how it works. You don't just choose your gender, or let me reword that because it's 2019. You don't just choose what sex you want your baby to be. We definitely want another baby. I just don't know when. I would love to have 2 under 2, but I don't know if I could handle that. Pros and cons of being married and having a family young-ish. Pros would be, I think that having a baby young makes for a good relationship. And that's not to say that if you have a baby when you're older, you can't have a good relationship with your child. But when Peyton is, say, 21, I'll be 43, so I won't be so old, and my experiences from when I was her age won't be so far away, and I feel like I'll kind of be able to relate a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Pros to that, I don't know, I guess it would be the same pros as getting married later on in life. Just like you're with your best friend, you get to live with your best friend and be married to them. I don't know. Cons, I guess, when you're still young, it would just be that you're still kind of changing. You're definitely still changing and evolving, and you're learning and stuff like that. So you grow as a person. But I think that when you're married, you get to do that together, and you get to grow and evolve as people, not only as people, but also as a couple. So I feel like that's a pro and a con, because maybe some people realize that they're not the people that they were when they were 19, 20, and they change and they become different people. And maybe your spouse or your partner doesn't like the new person that you've become. So I guess that's a con. And then a con to having a baby or starting a family. I feel like when anyone has a baby, no matter what age, the second that your baby comes out, you just kind of, you have motherly instincts, and you're just kind of, you know what to do. I don't really think there are any cons to having a baby young. That's not to go out and advocate for people to get pregnant at 16 or get pregnant before they're ready. But I just think that no matter what age you are, you kind of just know what to do the minute that baby comes out. So that was actually the last question, and I'm surprised how fast I actually got through that, because I tend to ramble, and I might have rambled for a couple questions. But anyway, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you're always notified whenever I upload a new video. I plan on uploading at least one video a week, so I'm still trying to figure out like a film edit upload schedule and what day I want to upload on. So I think I'm just gonna kind of try out different things and see what works for me. But if you click the notification bell, you'll never miss an upload. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.